Boom, we are back.
Back like I forgot something. I'm
Bros with
something.
Mics. You
Bros
hear me?
with mics. You see
And
it down there.
yes, sir. And I'm Cody.
I'm Tom. What up? What up?
Today we
Us a
got us.
guest.
Yes, we
Got us a
do.
guest. We told y'all. We're gonna get you guests. We
Let's
got
get it,
Mike from
baby.
the Nosebleeds on YouTube. We told you we're gonna get folks in here. Hit us up, hit the comments, and we will get you here. Healthy conversations amongst, as we can see, a very diverse fan base right here. As we can
very
see.
diverse.
It's a fact.
Very
can
That
see
is a
it.
fact. We're not lacking on the fan base variety here.
Exactly. But for today, we will be jumping into me and Tom have a top 25.
Mhm.
And yeah, so without
Opinions
further
differ.
ado,
Opinions differ. That's all I'm
opinions
saying.
differ.
Opinions
And
differ.
we'll go ahead and jump to that. For the people that's watching on Spotify, I'm sorry, but we
Yep.
will try to
Sorry,
post it.
Spotify. Yeah, we'll just we'll make
Or
sure we
listening.
walk them through what we're seeing, what I'm seeing. You can see what I'm seeing through my eyes, so you can see what I'm seeing. You know, I'm here for it. That's all. That's all that matters. Y'all gonna be here for it. Be ready for it. All right.
Bro, what?
Just lock in. That's all we're saying. Just lock in.
Okay, so without further ado, Cody's AP Top 25 poll for week 3. I am not a fan of Texas, but Texas is my front runner right now for just the dominance.
Man.
So yeah, man, y'all can see it. I'll read it off and y'all let me know y'all's opinion. 25 we have UCLA. 24 I got Washington State. 23 I got Iowa. 22 I have Clemson. 21 Duke. 20 North Carolina. 19 Miami. 18 Kansas State. 17 Ole Miss. 16 Utah. 15 Colorado. 14 LSU. 13 I have Tennessee. 12 I have Oklahoma. 11 I have Oregon. 10 I have Bama.
I'm stopping right there. Before we get to the 10, before we get all the way into the bread pudding, hands deep into the sauce.
Okay.
I'm stopping right there.
Oh,
So,
I love it.
I like the list. I mean, I'm not mad at it by any means. It's a good list.
Oh, okay. So you wanna talk about 11 through 25?
That's what I'm saying. So
okay, bro. Okay,
all
that's
right,
fine.
man.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right, I got a little beef. Just a little bit. I mean, I think there's some teams who might be slightly out of place on there. I mean,
all right, yeah. So who stands out?
I mean, personally, the fact that Clemson is still in your top 25 is a little off-putting to me a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think Clemson deserves to be anymore. Personally, after their showing, Clemson at 22, I see more like Iowa at 22 over Clemson at 22, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, they're still there. Just because one loss doesn't affect your whole season, but there's a loss against a basketball school, nonetheless, an unranked basketball school.
Clemson looks good though. You don't think?
I don't think Clemson.
You didn't think the last week they didn't look good?
No, I don't by any means.
What?
I mean, Clemson's not a bad team by any way, shape, or form, right? Don't get me wrong when I say I don't like them there, but that showing against Duke stands out, man. That's something that you can't run from it, right? You don't, just like I didn't think Bama deserved to still be in the top 10 after their loss. I don't think Clemson still deserves to be in the top 25 after their loss.
Okay, can I give you some? Can I give you some whys?
I mean, we can have a why, but if you beat Charleston State or Charleston Southern, is it Charleston Southern, something like that? Charleston Southern, like
this as well.
Yeah.
Tell me, other than Duke, how many losses Clemson's got in the last 5 games?
The last
3?
5. Yeah,
three losses last 5 games.
Yeah, they are
3 of them. And I understand all 3 of us in this call and everyone that's listening understands college football changes every year. New people come in, you get your prospects and stuff like that. But when Klubnik took over, when they let go of DJ, they let him go. They sent his butt off with no remorse.
Free bird.
They locked in on Klubnik. And what's different about this team? There's nothing. They do not have the receivers that we've known Clemson to have, because Clemson has always had solid receivers. They've got one running back, Shipley. That dude's a dog. He's got that dog in him. I'll give you that. He's got that dog in him.
But I don't see it. But tell me again how many touchdowns he had last game against Charleston. See though, goose egg.
Okay, so this is the thing about Clemson. This is my take on Clemson. Mm-hmm. Clemson is off, of course. Clemson's off. I give you that. But you can't sit here and tell me that Washington, UCLA, and Iowa beat Clemson today in a neutral site?
I think so. I think for sure.
I give you
Washington
the.
State can get it.
No, I don't think Washington State. I say maybe Iowa.
Iowa,
That would be the
I would
best
say
chance.
at least Iowa, and that's who I said I would put in there over 22 over them. It's Iowa. I think Iowa could beat Clemson.
So let me ask you this as well. Do y'all believe in wake up calls?
Tennessee had a wake up call against Austin Peay.
Okay, then.
So,
Do you believe in a wake up call? Okay. Duke's quarterback is projected to be on Mel Kiper's draft pick for QBs this year.
Mhm.
He's projected to be the 5th QB taken. They're not bums out there in Duke.
they're not bums, but at some point in time, a winner's going to win. A winner finds a way to win, and I think they've lost that dog in them. Like we're starting to see with Nick Saban. I thought he's on a decline. Clemson has met their decline. They've hit the apex, and they are on the way down. You heard it here? They're on the way down.
Okay. I give you Clemson. Clemson's a toss-up. We have different opinions on them, but I just don't see the Iowa or Washington State or UCLA.
Clemson's not even top 5. They're not even they're the 4th best team in their own conference behind Florida State, North Carolina.
I give you that.
So
I don't.
They deserve to be top 25? I don't think so.
I think they slug it out with North Carolina. I think they lose to Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
And Duke, first game of the season, we talked about that before, is how you prepare. What have you done during fall camp to get to this week 1 performance? And they obviously didn't do enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So anything else? Mike, anything stands out to you?
I got another team, and this might be, I don't think this would be controversial. I feel like this team's got some games to play, and we'll see really what they are. Tell me if I'm wrong. Do we think LSU is only in the top 15 off of what they finished off last year?
100%.
I don't think so. I mean,
they still, but they didn't lose a lot of talent. They got where they were at in that low level. You made it to the SEC championship. That's a hard feat to do. You beat Alabama last year. That was a tough feat to do. This year, I don't know, but they returned a lot of talent this year, and that's kind of why they put them back there, because what their potential is. The kinetic might not be there, but they got a lot of potential energy.
They have the number 1 linebacker, in my opinion, in the nation. You know what I'm saying? So, and LSU didn't lose to a scrub.
Not by any means.
Yeah. No, by no means.
A forerunner right there.
Yeah, and to me, right now, the 2 best teams in college football is Florida State and Texas.
Okay.
If they play today, I'd give the slight advantage to Texas to be the under. But right now, to me personally, I just think that Florida State and Texas, to this point, to week 3 point, is just on another playing field than anybody else right now. I think they have the complete package
for the year. Like you said last time, some people find it late, some it takes a little bit, but they hit the ground running. There's no crawl, walk, run. It's straight sprint.
So I have LSU here above, all these teams. Do you think any of these teams that I have listed right now would be LSU on a neutral site?
Not per se, because Harold Perkins is a dog. So him rushing that line, I think even Shador would have.
And he's young, bro. And he's young. He was a freshman last year.
Yeah, his sophomore.
Yeah, he's a sophomore.
He was a freshman last year.
I honestly no. I don't see, and that's hard about Colorado, because right now they've got it right now, so it's hard to tell what they're
Colorado's
really
got
do.
the juice, and I like Colorado. I like Colorado against, I'll probably say, everybody besides Miami, possibly.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that. I don't
maybe Ole Miss.
That defense out there is a little tough. Ole Miss, that SEC defense comes with a little bit more speed than they used to send in the Pac-12. Not speed, sorry, a little bit more size than they used to send over in the Pac-12. Yeah. So Ole Miss will give them a run for their money.
Sorry to interrupt. If I could pick, I think if I could just chalk this weekend's games and pick a game right now and what I would want to see, because at first this is funny because this is the catchphrase. I was not necessarily believing what Colorado would be. I knew they had potential, but I ain't believe like what they doing now. But I'm gonna tell you right now, what would be a good game?
I told you.
LSU alternate site, possibly a good game. You put them up against Notre Dame.
LSU or Colorado?
Colorado. Because I think Colorado could have an upper hand. Because here's the thing. What Colorado has done, what the quarterback, what the player that's playing 100-something snaps a game, what they're doing over there is top shelf, yes. But we haven't seen it up against another top shelf type brand.
A true top shelf team, yeah.
And it's kind of unfair to say that, but that's the honest truth. I understand, this is a week by week thing, and it's only week 3, but it's eventually, hopefully, because when we get into this Pac-12 run with Colorado, that's when we're going to really see what they cut out.
USC right there, that's a.
USC is going to be the best game of the year. I'm putting my hands down right now, saying it. That will be the game of the year, regardless of my fan base and what I think about my team. That'll be just lights, camera, action the entire time from kickoff to the end of the quarter.
And I think it will be more. I think it'd be more important if Colorado beats Oregon that previous week. Into
especially if you go undefeated into that game.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy. Who's
Pac-12 championships right there?
Who's at home that game?
I'm not sure.
Tell me Colorado's at home. I got you.
But yeah, like I said, I like Colorado. I had Colorado covering the spread. I didn't know if they would win, but I told Tom against TCU, I said
USC's coming to Colorado.
That's big.
They gotta take the altitude, and it's gonna be chilly by the time end of September hits.
It's gonna be a little chilly. It's not gonna be too crazy.
But
then
the mountains of Colorado, we start seeing snow around by that time of year. There.
Oh well, yeah, maybe. So I mean, like I said, we'll see. We'll see how things play out. But I want to crack into the top 10.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make something shake.
So at 10, I have Bama. Tom, I know you don't like that, but 9, I have Washington. 8, I have Ohio State. 7, Notre Dame. 6, Penn State. 5, USC. 4, Michigan. 3, Florida State. 2, Texas, and 1, Georgia. Opinions.
My gripe isn't really all that much on this one, and now it does differ a little bit more than what you might have on it, just slightly, but
which is great.
I still don't like Alabama in the top 10. I don't. I really don't.
I think they lost to the best team in college football.
I do. Arguably, but I don't think Bama's the same Bama. This year, it really exposed why Bama was great the past few years, because Bryce Young held that team together. He was the glue behind that team.
You can't say Bryce Young is Nick Saban's legacy.
No. I'm saying the past year, the last year, because we saw how when he got hurt at the beginning of the season, the replacement came in. It's real sketchy, but Bryce Young came back for the Tennessee game. Jalen Monroe sat back on the bench, right? But guess what? He is the star now, and we see the kind of passes he's throwing. 2 interceptions in the game. Texas is a great defense. Don't get me wrong, but 2 interceptions is 2 interceptions, right? If you can't lead your team back with the quarterbacks that Nick Saban's used to having, I don't know, man. They're not the same Alabama they've been, and they aren't a top 10 Alabama anymore.
Can I ask you, if you had to pick one team that you just think got the dog in them, and I'm talking about they'd probably beat everybody on this list, who would that be?
And I can't say anybody because it's any given day.
It is. I mean, just how they looked.
Even Texas is one of those where it's like I saw some chinks in the armor, but I think Texas probably arguably is the best team on this list right now until Tennessee gets their offense together. And then I don't see anybody who could outright beat us. You can win, but you wouldn't outright beat us right now.
Mike?
So I do like how you have it set up. And with the thing with Alabama, and this has kind of been like a reoccurring thing that has happened year after year, when a team beats Alabama, and this is no flaw on you, we instantly put them on that pedestal because we're used to Bama being that caliber, which all respect to them. In the past 5 years, they've been those guys. Mm-hmm. But just watching, me as a Georgia fan, I can't say how many Alabama games I've been forced to watch, and I always watch. Yeah. Alabama don't look the same.
They don't, and I give you that. I don't think they look the same, but at the same time, I think that they lost to a very talented Texas team.
Texas is talented because let's not forget, last year, this was a field goal game. This wasn't like the way this game was this year.
Bryce Young.
This was a Bryce Young just doing what Bryce Young did, scrambling, get the first down, field goal, get us out of the stadium so we can breathe.
Yeah.
This wasn't far from being the same way last year. But this shows you how different Alabama is when they ain't got those players anymore. Do you think Jaden Milroe, you throw him in that game last year, is he doing that on that third down? No. He can run. No, he's not. Yeah. So that's where I don't mind them being at 10. I respect them being at 10. At that same time, we're going to have to see how this whole SEC West, because the SEC West is insane right now because it's so up in the air. We got LSU giving us false hopes. We've got Alabama looking very, very shaky. Auburn's is always that team that you just never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know with them. I don't mind it, but you said any team that can beat any team. Respectfully, I'm going to have to go with my team just because, yes, I understand we've
I
played
respect it.
pretty much nobodies at the first half of the season, the first 2 games.
Yeah.
We start an SEC run this week. When Georgia can turn it on, when you can put how many points on in 1 quarter, like that.
31, yeah.
First punt return in 5 years since Miko Hardman was returning punts for us, like that with a walk-on. We could turn the heat up. If you want heat, we can give you heat. We don't got to worry about all that. We can give you heat when needed.
Offense is shaky at best. A slow start in the SEC equals a L nowadays. So
yeah,
Georgia slow starts against a quality team. Not saying South Carolina's quality. Not saying they're going to win it, but against a quality team.
let me say this.
That'd be a true testament.
Last week would have been an interesting one because if it would have went the way it was supposed to be scheduled, me and Cody's team would have faced off this past week.
That is true.
But the SEC took that away from us since they're coming over and they didn't want to do something that wasn't already signed in contract.
Right.
It is what it is, but
and we talked about that. But and this is a hot take, but look, I've seen Paul Feinbaum talk about it. I've seen Joe Klatt talk about it. I've seen a lot of intelligent people talk about this, and I kind of agree. I think the SEC right now is shaky.
It's in shambles.
I think the SEC is kind of shaky right now, and
as a whole, yes.
And part of me loves to say that, but another part of me respects the SEC, and I, without being biased, I'm just the SEC is they run things, and that's just how it goes. But right now, I kind of feel like it's a little shaky. I just don't see the dominance that has been reoccurring over the past few years.
I 100% agree with that.
You know what I mean?
The transfer portal, people have found a way to really capitalize and get their hands into that pot and pick and choose who you need to make your team great. And it's a doozy, man. But pushing through so we can get to the other side. Like I said, it's a good list. Mine just differs a little bit slightly from yours. So we'll hop into that a little bit and we'll get some opinions on it right here.
Let's do it.
We'll see what you guys feel about this right here. So, like I said, with my list, just a few different things, right? So over here on mine, we'll start back 25 counting down. We got Oregon State, UCLA, Washington State, Iowa, Duke, Utah. As you can see in those top 5, I do not have Clemson in there.
Bottom 5.
The bottom 5.
Oh, my bad. Those bottom 5, I don't have Clemson in there. I don't have faith in Clemson anymore. Their defense, since Brett Venables left, is not the same. They can't compete nowadays with offense like Duke that ain't fantastic, right? And you can't even compete with them. You're the 4th best in the ACC. It's not saying a lot. That usually that's reserved for like 75 and 6-win teams. You know what I'm saying? 500
usually,
teams.
But you can't go off usually.
So I just don't have them in there. Pushing up, we got Ole Miss at 19. Miami with that great win over A&M. Miami looks good. North Carolina, Kansas State, LSU. That LSU, like I said, we were kind of putting them high on that pedestal because of what they did last year, but they got a few things to prove, especially in the West. I think they could easily come back. That's why they're not out of it so much. They can easily come back from a position with another good win over Alabama, a win over an Ole Miss, ranked teams that they have to play because they're in the West together. So I think LSU can easily move back up this list. And now is where we're really getting. You got any gripes over this right-hand side, this 15 through 25 right now?
No, just to piggyback off what you said for LSU, they still have playoff hopes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where they're standing right now. For me, I don't hate it. What's interesting is I seen somebody have Oregon State in the top 10, and I couldn't really figure out why.
What have they done to prove that? What have they done to prove that?
I seen that a couple nights ago, and I was watching this guy's podcast, and he had Oregon State and like at number 3 actually.
Yeah,
I'm not lying.
Bugging. He was sleepy and just threw some stuff together. But
LSU's loss couldn't have been against the best person it could have been. They lost the absolute best game they could have lost, and it sounds kind of cruddy, but it's honest. Yeah. There's a reason, because in my own opinion, Florida State is definitely a top 4 team. They're right where they need to be.
Yeah.
So losing to them, now the fashion they lost, it wasn't a 10-point, it wasn't a 1-score game. They got beat. Yeah, they got the hands put on them.
Yeah.
But I will give you that LSU still has ample opportunity. They do their job. They do their job out in the West. They'll be fine. It's just it's gonna be that West. That West looks really sketchy.
And what helps is you rather lose early than lose late.
Exactly. Tennessee saw that last year. What happens when you lose late?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I don't have no problems.
Cool.
Yeah.
And quick plug, it is Gator Hater Week, man. Coming to the swamp. I can't wait. Boy. It's great to be at Tennessee ball, boy.
If y'all lose that game, I swear. It's up. It is up.
I mean, we still gotta go beat Bama. We gotta go beat Georgia, South Carolina. If we lose that, we can go on a tear. But we better not lose this game. There's the big three in Tennessee. You gotta compete. Florida, Georgia, Alabama. Come on, Heupel. We got to get 2 out of the 3. Hopefully 3 out of 3 this year. All right, make something shake.
I don't think you need to talk to Heupel. You need to talk about Joe Milton's arm.
Hey, don't come at Bazooka Joe. Leave him be right now, man. Yeah, that man.
Silence on that thing.
You worry about end of November. Who you gonna see? That's who you.
I can't wait.
We're coming to Neyland this year. So from here down, we got Colorado at 14, Oregon 13, Washington 12. Alabama 11, where they belong, and Oklahoma at 10. I feel Oklahoma is a better team than Alabama right now with that defense. Man, they are just I think this year they're coming to prove something. It's
crazy to say right now.
Yeah,
I'll let you go first, Mike.
My one question, without giving me your bias, because I respect your bias for your team. Do you think your offense is at a point, if y'all were to play tomorrow, alternate location? Tennessee's offense versus Alabama's offense. Who's going to get the job done?
I have faith in our defense more than I do offense right now. I have 100% faith in our defense. Their run game, their stopping, they look good. We had a top, ranked in the top 20 or 25 last year in run stuff. We returned a lot of players back to that line and new linebackers who can get the job done in there. And we have some ball hawks back there on the DB side for Jalen Milroe. We keep him contained, force him to throw. All Texas did was expose him to the rest of the SEC. Keep him contained, force him to throw, and we're going to see what happens at that point in time. So I think alternate site, I think we can get it done now if Joe Milton puts the pass where they need to be, and we'll see. Because like I told in the previous episodes to Cody, we ran a very benign offense because that Virginia game, everybody's, oh yeah, Tennessee's good. Tennessee's great. We put a 49. Tennessee is still high caliber.
After that first quarter, it got a little iffy.
We had 4 plays at the beginning of the game, and it was 49 points after that. We were rolling.
Yeah, that was that first drive.
Yeah, so it was now Austin P. I think
that was a rough one. Yeah,
we ran it that way because, my opinion, what I feel is it was benign because of the Florida game. Don't get hurt. Don't give up too much. Just practice stopping the game. And we stopped them. They didn't score a touchdown until like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. By then, we were having people rotate in at that point in time. So, though our offense was a little shaky, everybody looked a little shaky the second game of the season right now.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, even Cody's team, Oklahoma, which I got hopes on Oklahoma just because I think they're going to be good. That game between y'all and Texas, I believe is going to be closer than what you probably think right now. But in all honesty, I think it'll be a good game. It was just that SMU. It was SMU y'all played last week, right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Came out a little slow, kind of too close for comfort. But at the same time, like you were just saying, Tom, it's these first 3 weeks. This is when you get the kinks out. This is where you get all the bad stuff going on, the miscommunication, especially coming from a Georgia fan, because Carson Beck, I have hope in him, but it just looks rusty right now. We just need to, spray some WD-40 on it, let it loose, and let's start making things work.
Get them kinks out of there. So, pushing back through, like I said, I have us at 9 because we have the potential. It's just a matter of Heupel opening offense. We ran it very heavy to get people, lull them into, Tennessee's a running team now. Milton's not going to make deep throw, and watch what happens. It's going to be a spray. He's going to be spraying them next week. So going to Swamp to kill Gators. Number 9, Ohio State at 8, just because they haven't lost yet. So we don't know if it's just the beginning of the season jitters, and there's a chance they can still pop off, even though I still feel they're the 3rd best team over there right now. USC, Notre Dame at 6, Penn State at 5. You got any arguments with those right there? Notre Dame is rolling, USC's rolling, and Penn State, they're not looking bad so far. So that
I like Notre Dame. After what we were just talking about, I love Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame looks good. That was the first game I watched this year, and even though I think they played one of the military schools, they looked solid. They looked really, really good. My only disgruntle that I have is I understand the hype behind Penn State from what they've returned. What have they done that Ohio State hasn't done in their first 2 games, other than their quarterback being rough, just like some of the other top 10 teams? What have they done? Because I'll tell you one thing, it went from Marvin Harrison versus the world to I forgot he's still over there because I ain't heard nothing about him.
I mean, we saw Ohio State versus what, Indiana, that first game?
First game, yeah. I think that was
Indiana's not a top 30 team, 35 team. But they got the win.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, they got the win. But look at the way Penn State's been doing. West Virginia was 38-15. Then they went to Delaware, which is a small team, and they just steamrolled them 6-37. They're looking good, very efficient. So that's why right now, until we see them all, but they're going to eat each other alive. That's where they're starting to go. So we'll see who comes out on top, like King Rat style. Throw them all in the pot, see who wins, and we have him as our champion to keep going. So they'll play Ohio State first, and they'll turn around and play Michigan, and we'll see a mix-up right here in this top 10, because for sure Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State, somebody has to go. Somebody got to go. Man. But pushing up, you got any other gripes between those? Well, Cody?
Yeah, kind of the Penn State thing. Same. Just piggyback off that. I kind of like USC above Notre Dame and Penn State right now. Just because that offense is crazy. As we know, Lincoln Riley is an offensive genius. And then also I do want to go back to Washington. Why Washington at 12?
Dude, I like Washington over there. I think arguably Washington might be the team to that everybody's going to sleep on in Pac-12, and they're going to get an upset or two out of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I kind of like Washington top 10.
But I'm waiting for them to get that. It's high hopes and dreams right now, right?
Yeah, and like I said, it's what we're going off of right now. If I had to bet what happens down the road, my AP would be totally different.
We'd be rich. You know what I'm saying? Coming down the road. So
yeah.
That's why I have them at 12. But that's easily one win away from being top 7, 6 right there. You got USC. You win USC, you're easily pushed back into that 6 or 7 spot. So that's
USC has to play Notre Dame too, right?
They might. Let me check.
I think they do.
Because Notre Dame is weird, and it's real disrespectful how the NCAA kind of lets them pick and choose their schedule, right?
They play.
They play them like 4 weeks.
Play them in October. Yeah, they play them in October. So that's going to be interesting though, because they play USC, Notre Dame, and then USC is playing Utah right after that.
Yeah, so it goes at Notre Dame, then versus Utah.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, that's my only 2 things. I do like Notre Dame. They are steamrolling. I think Notre Dame is one of those teams that's steamrolling. I think Washington is as well. Mm-hmm. As far as Washington making it, they can. They can
any given day.
You know what I'm saying? But I as far as right now, I do like Washington. Like Washington is an impressive team. But we just gotta see how that USC schedule plays out within the next 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean that's my only issue right now with those few.
Sounds good. Then we got Penn State at 5, Florida State 4, Texas 3, Michigan 2, and Georgia at 1. Georgia, I hate sending them at 1. I hate sending Georgia and Alabama anywhere on this list, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. But it's undeniable at this point in time. They haven't lost yet. You're the reigning champions. But guess what? You got to worry about South Carolina this weekend.
Can I pause you for a second? When you say it, could you use the full thing? We're not just reigning champions. We're back to back reigning champions. Something ain't never been done in the playoffs since.
I respectfully have them at number 1. It's out of pure sports respect. So that's it. Wrapping it up right there. I think it's a good discussion to have, and it's going to be a fun time out here for the rest of the season, especially this weekend, starting off for us down in the swamp. So
yeah, for sure. And well, that will be it. My name is Cody.
Tom,
and I appreciate you, Mike, for coming through.
Thank you so much.
And we will catch y'all on the next episode.
Bros with Mics. You know where to find us. We'll see you on the next episode.